welcome to episode 7 of the Shot Clock podcast with me, your host, Jago. This week's episode is with Drogheda Wolves under 14 coach and player. It's Elaine Scally.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody, to the Shot Clock podcast with me, Jago. Today's guest is synonymous with Dublin basketball, Dublin Masters basketball, current coach of the Drogheda Wolves under 14 team, former Crusaders, Tolka, Mercy. She's done it all. Elaine Scally, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Hey, Jago, good. Thank you.
How are you keeping? How are you finding this whole COVID lockdown rubbish?
I think, yeah, the third one's a tough one, I have to say. I think the first and second one, we were all, motivated to get going and get fit and fresh air, and it was summer and it was nice. And then the second one, we were still allowed to do a little bit of training. So we were outdoor training. So that kind of kept us going. But this one is tough. I think this one is, you really feel it on the kids, especially like no sports. The weather's been crap, so getting motivated, it's kind of real tough. But only kind of, highlight is that, we have the vaccine and we're getting the vaccine, and, they're planning on September being like 100% to go. So that's what I just keep telling them. This is the last one, we'll get through this one. We'll be back to normal, please God.
Basketball back again. That's the main thing. Back to school, back to their friends, back to eating out.
Oh my God, yeah. I couldn't tell you last time I had a pint.
Yeah, I'm not even going to think.
Exactly, yeah.
So, like I said, you started out with Crusaders many moons ago, played with Tolka for probably 10 or 12 years, was it?
Oh, yeah, probably a little bit more, actually, yeah.
And then
14, yeah.
Bounced around and now up in Drogheda for the last 13 years. So, let's go back to the very start. Who, what, or why inspired you to pick up a basketball?
So believe it or not, I was an All-Ireland Dublin camogie player. I played when I was a kid. I played in Croke Park. I was captain of Dublin till I was around. It was the under 13 Dublin team, and I remember all my sisters, we played. It was in the school. I loved it. And then I have twin sisters, so Denise and Claire, who were complete chalk and cheese. One is 6 foot, one is 5'4". Both started playing basketball in secondary school, and I was around fifth class. And obviously Ken Black was their coach in St. John of God's in Coola. And I used to go and watch their games after school. And I remember going up one day and seeing this American guy who was an absolute lunatic, screaming his head off at them on the sideline, going, oh my God, he is the scariest man I have ever seen in my whole life. But it's just something about the way he coached them and the way they listened to him. And when they finished the game, they just loved it. It was just something captivating about him that I was like, I would love to play for him one day. I remember going home and saying to my mum, I think I'll join basketball. And she was like, yeah, do you already doing camogie? You can't be doing all these sports. And I was like, she goes, you have to choose one now, you have to pick one. And I was like, oh, I think I've played camogie. I've done it. I think I want to join basketball. So she was like, okay. So I was in 4th class, and I remember saying to Denise, my sister, can I go watch a training session? And she was like, yeah, come on. So she'd bring me up after school, and I remember Ken Black saying, do you want to join in? I was like 11, and I was like, yeah. Like Rachel Kelly, Denise Scally, like all these, and I remember joining in, and I just took to it like a duck to water. I loved it. And the way he was so hard on all them girls, but they had such respect for him and listened to him, and he was unreal. And I remember saying to myself, I love this sport. And I remember I was in 6th class at the time, and they got to the All-Ireland final in the Neptune Stadium against Mercy. So it was Mark Ingle against Ken Black throughout the years. And I remember sitting in the bleachers in Neptune, looking, going, I was training them for 2 years, like, oh, put me on, I'd love to play. Obviously, I couldn't, I was in primary school. And then the following year, started out in first year with Ken Black. So I still kind of hadn't played club basketball at this stage. It was just school. So in first year, I went, and oh my God, that was it. That was it. I just loved it from that minute. And he was, and to this day still is, probably the best coach that's ever coached me. He was unbelievable. He was so hard, Jago. Even his camps, anyone will tell you about his camps, they were like, boot camps. Everything was defense with bricks. It was unbelievable. So he got me into basketball, and then seeing how like close I was with my twin sisters at camps every year. That's all we did in the summertime, was Dublin basketball camp for 8 weeks. Everybody and anybody went to that, from Southside or wherever. And yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So he was kind of the reason why I got into basketball, and still am, really.
Big shout out to Ken. He's done a lot for Irish basketball over the years, an awful lot.
Yeah,
Good, he's
yeah,
a
definitely.
really good guy. So I know your background. I know your friendships within basketball. I know who your best friends are in the whole lot, and you've played with most of your friends over the years. So this is a tough question for you because somebody's going to get upset, somebody's going to
I
get
know.
pissed off. But I want to know who's your favorite teammate and why.
Oh God. Right. So I've played with a lot of teams, so I've had a lot of kind of really good teammates, really good friends. So I'll put it this way. Um, a really good teammate is someone who you're having a crap game. You're having a really bad game. No shots are going in. You know, you're just feeling crap, feeling sorry for yourself. Head goes down. Who picks you up? Okay. To me, that's someone who's like a really good teammate. Now, I've had loads. And you're going to laugh at my answer. You're going to be like, are you serious, Sally? But she can be the laziest person in the world when she wants to be. But no matter how bad of a game she's having, she'll always say, get your head out of your arse and get moving. Sharon Kelly, hands down. Like,
Of all people, I would not have
of
picked
all
Sharon Kelly.
people. But she says it as she sees it and she says it as it is. And there's no pussyfooting around with her. Like, if you're having a bad game, she'll pull you and crush you out and be like, get with it. We need you, or you need to do this. And it's just like, yeah, doesn't put your head down, doesn't say, come on, you lose the ball. It's always, come on, it's okay. It's always positive work. Like I said, she could walk back on defense and just be like, I missed a shot. And you could kill her for it, but she will always have your back on it, like 100%. I have to say, like definitely.
Over the
Sharon, yeah.
years, I have to say, watching Sharon playing over the years, I love watching her play. But yeah,
And do you know what it is about Sharon? Like, she doesn't know how good she is. She annoys me. She's this raw talent that could have gone far, huge in America. And she's just like, nah, it's grand. You'll kill her.
yeah, she's just humble. She doesn't see it. She doesn't see her talent, which is
No.
hilarious because yeah,
Yeah, definitely. She's
unbelievable,
mad.
unbelievable. Hoping to get her on here soon. So I wonder what she's going to say for who her favorite
She better
team
say
is.
me or I'll bloody kill her.
Right, so over the years you've played against some of the best in Dublin and around Ireland as well. Who was the toughest person you've had to D up against? And then on the flip side of that, who played you the hardest on defense?
Right, okay. So there was always this rivalry between Tolka and Comets at the time, Maria O'Toole's team. We always had a huge rivalry, and that was because of the twins, obviously Nikki and Lorraine O'Brien, who then became my teammates, which is like funny with Tolka. But I'll never forget. So the hardest person that I've had to actually defend would be um probably Lorraine O'Brien. I play with Lorraine in the Masters now, but she's just so strong. Like, it's unbelievable. She's so strong. She's so quick, and you don't know what she's gonna do. Like, her vision is unreal, and like her thinking is, if you push her up full court, she'll go by it. If you're take to the basket, she'll leave you hanging. Like, so she was real tough, always moving. Like, I have to say, until she came to play with us, she was probably, I used to go, and Mango used to go, right, Sally, you have Lorraine O'Brien. I'd be like, are you kidding me, Mango? Like, seriously. And he'd always like help out, because I'm like, I wouldn't have been the best defender, but like she was unreal. She was really, really good. But she would have been the toughest person to mark. The toughest person that I found marking me, oh God, that's a tough one. I would probably say, God. So there was this one girl who she played for Kerry, and she played on the Irish team with me, called Denise Walsh. Do you remember Denise Walsh? Little blonde girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was super. So although she played with Tolka for a couple of years. I never played against her in a competitive game. But when we trained together, she would mark me, and I would not see the ball. Like, forget about it. She was unbelievable. So like, she's stuck in my mind the minute you asked me that question, as in, like, I used to hate training sessions where we'd scrimmage, because I'm like, I'm not going to get the ball. Like, forget about it. I'm not going to get the ball. So she was unreal. Like, it's been a long time since I seen Denise, but she was phenomenal. Like, she was probably she's probably not the best point guard in the country at the time. Like, definitely 100%. She
But
was
isn't it
absolutely
great
awesome.
that when you're in practice and you're going up against that someone,
Oh yeah,
then you
make you
get
so
then
much
you
better.
get you get to a game then and everything becomes easier because nobody plays
Oh,
you as hard as she did.
unbelievable. And it's funny because like even now when you're like coaching kids and stuff like that, they're like, you have this player and they're like, why are you always putting me on her? And I'm like, to be the best, you have to play against the best. So like,
Absolutely.
definitely. And it's I think it's harder now for the kids to realize that, you think you're giving them a raw deal by like, you're always making them rank the hardest player, but it's not. It's just, that's what'll make you better. She made me a better player, definitely 100%.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So me and you share something in common. We both wear the unlucky number 13.
Lucky for some.
Exactly. So, based on that, have you any basketball superstitions? Getting dressed first, getting dressed last. What way do you take it on the game day?
So, no, I don't have like a super. I'm not a huge superstitious person, but what I do, and it's funny because what I tend to do is, so you go out and you warm up, and you have a set warm up. Usually, it's like your layups and your free throws and your, all this kind of jazz and your shooting and stuff. So obviously, when the ref blows 1 minute and it's time to come into the thing, I have to make a basket. I have to just make a layup. Now it could be there for 3 or 4 minutes, but I have to make that layup before I go into the huddle. I could be like, oh God. So like you go into someone to shoot the last layup and they miss or whatever, I have to just go and just stick it in the basket before we go in. I don't know if it's a superstition. Maybe it's just a habit, but I just feel like, just to end on that and go in and be ready. Like that's I don't think even notice I do that, but I just always do it.
Everybody's going to be watching for that now next season.
I know, and I'll probably miss it. Rocking in the Masters, shooting the layup. They're like, she'll be here for a while.
I'll be right there on the sideline waiting for it.
Recording it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, next question. We grew up in an era of Jordans, Kobe's, LeBron's, all the best shoes. Have you a favorite pair of kicks? If you could pick up a phone to whatever company, ask them to make an Elaine Scally shoe, what brand would it be and what model would it be?
So obviously they hadn't got the Kyries and the KJs now when we were growing up. It was all about, the Puma Air and the Nike and the Jordan. So I wore Jordans when I was younger, like because they were the shoe to have. But I'll give you a laugh, Jago. This is a funny story. So that we used to do the camps during the summer all the time. So obviously the three of me, Denise and Claire were always in basketball. So huge expense on mum and dad growing up. So I used to always get their shoes, that didn't fit them anymore. We're going to basketball and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's grand. But I remember one year my sister Claire, who was the smaller twin, we were at Calvin Troy's camp out in St. Vincent and Glasnevin. And she had just bought these Puma Air Pump runners, the ones when the tongue you used to pump them up and they used to make you jump higher, apparently. So anyway, yeah, that didn't work for me. So anyway, we were at the camp anyway, and Calvin Troy's camp, and it was they used to make an all-star team at the end of the week, and obviously they played against each other. So Denise made the all-star team. Sharon, I made the all-star team. I was probably one of the youngest there, and I was like, oh my God. I remember Gerald Kennedy was like, yeah, no, you're definitely on the all-star team. And I was like, wow, Claire didn't make the all-star team. So I went over and said to Claire, can I borrow your runners? And she was like, why? And I was like, because these aren't comfortable and your runners are going to make me jump higher and I want to get MVP. And she was like, Elaine, are you serious? And I was like, no, seriously. So she gave me her runners. So I was on a separate team to Denise, right? She was obviously much taller than me and like absolutely like a million times better than me. Anyway, the game went ahead, put the runners on, tied them up, played the All-Star game, got MVP. No lie, right? Got MVP of the week, right? I was like, oh my God. So them runners done me justice in Calvin Troy's camp for that week. They were the Puma pump runners. But nowadays, I have to say, I wore last season I wore KDs and the year before that I won Kyrie's, and I have to say the KDs are mega comfy. I love them. Absolutely love them. I don't like wearing a high shoe though. I always like the low cut, so I try and get the low cut and the KDs. But the two of them would be probably the favorite shoe. Apart from the pump, of course.
Excellent. I was always a Nike brand person as well. So if Nike are listening, if you want to hook me and Elaine up with a few pairs of shoes, we don't have an issue. Don't have an issue.
Number 13. Number 13.
Right. So like we said, you played with some of your best friends. You got to play with your sister. You like many people you played with. So we're going to the gym. It's a pickup game. It's you and 4 others. Who are you bringing to play with? So it can be players you've played with or players you wished you'd play with from the Super League or from the National League.
Oh wow. Okay. Right. Currently, even in today's game.
Even today's game.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have a definite two I'm going to take purely because they're like icons for me. So, which I still have the privilege to play with in the Masters. So, number one is Suzanne McGuire, because vision wise, she has eyes in the back of her head. She's like a stew board. She knows where you are, even when she doesn't know where you are. So, definitely her. Second player would be Emer Howard, finesse. Just she's just full of finesse. She's unbelievable. So two more. Okay, we need a point guard. So I'm thinking currently I think Dana Finn is unbelievable. I watch her in the European Championships and I think that, oh my God, she's just one of them hustlers, isn't she? She just
Yeah,
dives for every ball.
unbelievable.
And yeah, she's an amazing player. Like, and I don't even know the girl, but I just think that, she has your back, like definitely, definitely her. And I actually think that I love this girl. This girl is real underrated, I think, but she's super player, Claire Rockall.
Yeah.
I think she's phenomenal. She's a great player. Again, I don't know the girl, but just from watching her, yeah, she's a real nice player. So I'd bring the two veterans and then the two youngsters.
And you slap bang in the middle, the bridge
I'm
between
just
old
gonna
and
hang
young.
out at the tree. Just gonna hang out at the tree. That's it.
Brilliant. Look, to be honest with you, they're the first two modern current players that have been mentioned in a starting five. So yeah, that's
Mm.
unreal, and just shows your knowledge as well, that you're still up to speed with what's going on in the game around Ireland. Yeah,
Yeah, I love it. Love it.
brilliant. Right, so we're going to change gears. We're going to talk music, and I know music was huge for your sister Denise. She was a big music person. She always was rocking that Walkman in her pocket, always,
Oh,
as long as I remember. Um, so top five musical artists of all time for you.
okay, well, so like I have a massive like different range of music that I love. Like I love old school R&B. I think we all did around that era. Like old school 90s was just the way to go. I loved it. Currently now, like, I love Pink. She's my favorite female artist. So like Pink would be one. Usher, you just can't beat him. Usher is two. You could listen to Usher all day. You could listen to Usher before a game, even though it's old school and people are probably like Usher, but loved him. Um, have to. I love Missy Elliott. She was another one of mine, one of my favorites. Um, and Aaliyah, I loved Aaliyah growing up as well. You know, I would say R. Kelly, but since I've seen the whole documentary, can't really go there. Yeah, music wise was great. If the whole thing didn't happen, I'd be like, he'd be up there, but I'm kind of restricted to say his name now after what I've seen. But like the music was phenomenal growing up, so they would be pretty much up there.
Throw them in. Some people have said Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? We're just talking about music.
Well,
We're not talking about off court or
of
off
course.
stage
Then
antics.
definitely, yeah, definitely R. Kelly. He was the
So
one to
full
shout on.
disclaimer: we're talking music here, people. Nothing else.
That's it.
We know
Nothing
he's an
else.
evil man.
We don't like him.
We don't like him. We don't like him. Right, so you're the DJ. We're warming up just before you make that final shot to come into the huddle that we all know about now. Your little superstition. What are the last three songs we're listening to before we go to the bench?
Oh, okay, right. So, oh, I love Eminem. So, like, Lose Yourself. That just gets you pumped. So, Eminem would definitely be up there. And Sharon Kelly will laugh at this one, right? But Montel Jordan, this is how we do it. I love it, right? It's a jam, and it just gets you like in a funny kind of boppy mood. Like, I know that's a bit mad. I know, yeah. You can probably edit that one out, actually.
Definitely not.
Um,
That's definitely staying in.
and then like I know it's mad and it's real old school and it reminds me of like the ICS Cup as it was known when we were playing in it now. The whole Rocky team going on. You can't beat it. It does. People are like, now, oh my God, how cheesy is it? But it's not. Just gets you, doesn't it? Gets you just like motivated, ready to go.
So I recorded Rick Leonard's episode during the week, and the first song he said, you know, when you came down to Tralee what you were going to play. Tell me what it was. And I was like, oh, the Tiger. He was like, absolutely, absolutely. I was like, okay.
It's played before most games in the National League at the time. I really do.
That was the one that got you going. Like you were ready to kill after you heard that
Right?
song. Brilliant.
Definitely ready to play.
Three good songs. We'll get them played at the Masters, definitely.
Oh yeah, Jan.
So you started playing basketball, as you said, when you were younger. You played for a long time now. But what advice would you give to a 16-year-old Elaine Scally if you could sit her down?
Like, this is going to sound probably a bit of a cliche, but, you know, when I was 16, I was playing with the Irish under 16 team. And I don't know, I think that don't compare yourself to anybody. You know, you are you. There's certain things, everyone is different in their game. Everyone has different stuff going on in their lives, whether it be with school, at home. So, like, for me, I would just be you. So, like, play your game. You know, if you want to, yeah, I find now people are like saying, how many points did she have? Oh God, okay. Like, forget about that. Do you know what I mean? You just go and do you and be you and do what you can do, because everyone is different. Everyone's going to have different strengths and everyone's going to have different weaknesses. But you just go on what you can do and be 100% and play every single game like it's your last game. If I could be 16 again and step out on that court in Obla Hall or in, you know, Notre Dame or anything like that, just, you know, just play it and enjoy it. I think during COVID as well, we realized, you know, how much we miss basketball. Like, it's a full
Absolutely.
year now with basketball. So you're thinking now, like, it's one full year of not playing. Like, you know, people have missed their Irish trials. Like, you know, it would have been their year to go. It would have been, like, I know for my daughter, she's on the under 14 regional team. Like, this was her year to go on it. And she made the team last year, but she was a year young. And she was like, I'm so excited for next year. Like, if I can make it, you know, and like that's gone, do you know?
Yeah.
So like, I think for anyone now that's of the age of like 15, 16, just play hard, play every game like it's your last, and just be you. Just do what you can do. Don't be comparing yourself to people with stats and other things like that.
That's solid advice for people of any age, but especially kids. And if
Yeah.
you're coaching that up in Drogheda, look, you're going to produce some serious players over the years if that's the attitude that's being taught, and that's the culture that's being taught in Drogheda. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's the
Just do
philosophy
you.
is there. Yeah, exactly. Just do your best, really, you know?
Brilliant, brilliant advice. Right, so we're at the second last question. I can't believe it. Just feels like we've been talking for 5 minutes. I could do,
Yeah,
do this all day. I could do this
yeah,
all day. So, dead or
absolutely.
alive, 5 dinner guests you'd invite to your house for dinner, dead or alive, and they can be friends, family, or famous. It's 5 people you
Okay,
want to sit down and have a meal with.
come here. You're gonna go famous on this one. You know, you see friends all the time. I mean, come on now. If I have to have a dinner with Rachel, Kelly, Roisin, Dixon, Emily McBride, like, sorry, no, I've done it all. Every week we do it. So I was like, no. Okay, so number one person, my absolute idol, and they're all gonna laugh at Gillian O'Reilly's gonna laugh at this, because she's gonna be like, how? Scottie Pippen, my ultimate favorite player of all time. 100%. Even when I watched The Last Dance, I was like, he was the man. I loved him. I could just watch him play all day. Obviously, Michael Jordan isn't real, but he was his right hand man. Like, he wouldn't have been who he was only for him, apart from what I think. So I would like have so many questions for him. He would definitely be number one. Number two, you're gonna die laughing at. This is a duo, Ant and Deck.
Oh my god. Okay.
So you have to have
I'm,
them
I'm, I'm
purely
not
for
going to judge you on that one.
love it, right? Ant and Deck, just love them. Okay, that's two. Third one, you will absolutely die laughing at this, but I watch her films all the time, so I love someone who can make me laugh, right? Once I can laugh at a dinner table, like, I'm obviously I love the serious conversation and the whole, but someone that I just make you laugh is, you know, it's priceless. So Melissa McCarthy, I just love her. I think she's deadly. So I
Okay.
definitely have humor there. So that's four. And then the last one I'd have there would probably be Barack Obama. I think I just absolutely love that man. I think he's just an unreal person. And I think he's the type of person that you could A, have the crack with, B, have a serious conversation with, and C, he's probably so genuine and like not full of the BS. He's just
Yeah.
a gentleman. And I'd love to just sit and just be like chatting, chilling. You know, love that.
So
So I
here's
think,
the next question.
oh God,
Are we cooking or are we ordering in? And
ordering.
what are we having?
Okay, so I'm thinking we'll go with either Thai or we'll go with Chinese, just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
Do you know? Thinking we'll do one of them. Definitely not cooking, pal. Not a hope.
No?
No, I'm not. I like cooking, but I wouldn't be your, your Jamie Oliver or anything like that. If I could actually maybe bring an extra person, we might just bring him just to cook the food. That's all.
Look, it's your
Just
table.
throw
If,
him
if,
in.
if you've room in your dining room, if you can squeeze Jamie in,
Oh,
well,
I squeeze him in. Absolutely.
right. So this has been an absolute pleasure. It's great to catch up with you. It's been far too long since we chatted, far too long since we've seen each other. I cannot
Yeah.
wait to get back into the Masters gym, wherever and whenever it happens, just to physically see you, get a hug,
I know.
and find out how you are. You know what I mean? But look, this has been a dream talking to you. So, last question for the day is: who would you like to see in your spot? Who would you like to see on the Shot Clock podcast?
Oh, I'd love to see Ken Black.
Ooh.
I know the girl. He probably won't obviously listen to this till the girls see him. So like Jodie, Peggy, girls, Trav. I think he would be unreal. He's quite deep, Ken, so you don't actually know what he's really thinking. We always had this thing where he had his John and God girls and his Chanel boys. So like Fran Stacey, Joey Clark, all them was his Chanel boys, and then we were his girls. And we always it was a 60th surprise birthday there a few years ago, and we all went to it. And we put him on the spot. And we were like, Ken, who's your favorite? And he wouldn't answer. He's so deep. So like for him to come out and answer your questions would be like, for me, mega interesting. Like definitely.
You know what? Let's try and make it happen.
Yeah, defo.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Look, Elaine, thanks a million. I know you're working from home, you're homeschooled, and you've so much going on. You've had to sit in a Man United bedroom, which I'm really sorry that you had to do that. Like, it's paining me looking at Juan Mata's scarves over your shoulder. But
Donald Cummins will have my back on that.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. Look, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for giving up your time, and hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, defo for sure.
So, firstly, apologies to all non-United fans having to sit through that episode, looking at all that United memorabilia. Trust me, it hurt my eyes too. Look, we're doing 2 episodes again this week, and here's a preview of Thursday's guest.
My number 5 would be Rick Leonard. As you well know, he's still going strong now.
Absolutely.
He can still play. He's just an amazing player. Mind you, playing against him all them years, but me, you didn't want to mess with him, that kind of way. Even though I kind of tortured him, talking to him. But now we're kind of, we're really good friends, and we're still playing together now. We've won quite a few Masters together, so I would pick him.
So massive thanks to Elaine for her time. Really enjoyed recording that episode, as I said, apart from the United rubbish. And Thursday's episode, you've seen the preview, so tune in 8 a.m. Thursday morning for that. Get over to our Instagram page now to vote on our winner stays on. And check out our Spotify playlist, the Shot Clock Podcast warm-up music. Every guest's favourite warm-up songs on a playlist just for you. And until next time, this is Jago saying, I'll see you on the court soon.